Agatha Christie, 1890 to 1976, was born in Torquay, Devonshire, England. She was the daughter of American Frederick Miller and English woman Clarissa. Agatha came from a wealthy family, studied with several private teachers, learned singing and piano. At the age of 8, she began her formal education. Most of her time was spent writing poems and short story. In 1912, she met the colonel and pilot of the Royal Flying Corps, Archibald Christie. In 1914, she married the English pilot from whom she takes her surname. When the First World War began, Agatha enlisted as a volunteer in the Royal Red Cross Army. Her position in the corporation was that of a pharmacist. In it, the author acquired knowledge about potions and poisons that would later be used in her works. In 1930, already divorced and successful novelist, Agatha remarries, this time with Max Mallowan, an archaeologist with whom she goes on a series of expeditions to the east. It is from these trips that she draws her inspiration for several successful books, such as Death on the Nile, They Came to Baghdad, and others. Her first detective novel book was the result of a challenge proposed by a sister. For it, the writer would have to write something in which the reader could not discover the identity of the killer before the end of the narrative. Then came the mysterious affair at Style, which had as its protagonist a Belgian named Hercule Poirot. Curtains, Poirot's last case, was written in 1940, still during the Second World War, but it was only published in 1976, a year before she died. In it, Detective Hercule Poirot returns to Style, where he had solved his first murder. According to the detective and his intuition, other murders would be committed there. In Curtin's setting, the mansion becomes a rundown and poorly managed hotel. So, after settling into one of the rooms, the detective calls Arthur Hastings, who is also the narrator of the story and Poirot's good friend. Upon arriving at the hotel, the captain finds his longtime friend in poor health, unable to walk, and with heart problems. The detective presents his friend with 5 crimes, with no mystery involved. In all of them, there was only one possible explanation for the murders. However, Poirot tells Hastings that the police were wrong and that there was a single person behind them all. Plus, that person was staying at Style. The detective vehemently refuses to tell Arthur who this person is, but asks him to use his gray matter and find out who the possible victim will be. Since Hercule was in a wheelchair, with a fragile body, unable to walk around the hotel to investigate on his own, we started to accompany the captain in his search and conversations with other guests at Style. I believe that this is the author's genius and the brilliance of the book. Hastings is not as deductive as Poirot, and he believes in people. He believes too much in people. So, as we see everything through the eyes of the captain, we never have a complete view of the problem. The detective gives us some information. However, most of the deductions come from Hastings. Agatha teases the reader. She manipulates information all the time, and in the end, shows that whoever manipulates the reader is Poirot, who, instead of spoon feeding Hastings, let him deduce whatever he wanted.